Hello, hello, hello. Hey everyone, how's everyone doing? Okay, so let's wait for more people to join in. So today we're going to be talking about how to start a career in tech. Let's write this. Hello, hey everyone, thank you so much for joining. So today we're going to be talking about how to start a career in tech with Nnamdi. Yeah, so let's wait for more people to join in and pin. So that's what we're going to be talking about. So let me see. Couple of minutes, and yes, so I'm just gonna join view requests. Hey, hi everyone. Hi Nnamdi, how's everything going?
Can you hear me?
Yes, it's perfect. Good. How's everything going?
It's going all right. How have you been?
Awesome.
So go
Yes.
figure. This is of all the time we've been working together. This is the first time we're actually talking face to
Face
face.
to face. So we've not been talking on phone so far, right?
What did you say?
I said we've just been talking on phone so far.
Yeah, I'm talking on phone, and like all of our Zooms were no cameras.
Yes, Zoom sessions and all. So
Yeah, that's incredible. It's how you
glad
can.
to, glad to have you here. So today, everyone, we're going to be talking about how to start a career in tech. So I have with me Nnamdi Hinako. He's a leadership and career coach. He helps people get high-paying jobs that can pay you as much as $100,000 per year. So that's exactly what, as a database administrator in database administration. So that's
Yeah.
what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm glad to have you, Nnamdi. Super glad to have you.
Thank
So the floor is
thank
open for you.
Oh, well, first of all, Sarah, thank you for having me. So when it comes to career in tech, and you said my last name is Ihenacho, so you have to say this
Yeah,
again.
not sure. I'm
uh,
sorry.
it's it's all
Okay.
right. But yeah, so people have technology is a booming space when it comes to careers. Everybody
Yes.
knows that, right? A lot of people, especially for those of us here in the diaspora, right? The path you take tends to be based on who you meet when you first
Yes,
arrive.
exactly.
It's based on influence. It's based on information and exposure that the people you meet give you, and it's not always the right information. It's
Yeah.
always like, hey, this is the one way you can make money in this country or how you can do well. And sometimes that is while those advice and recommendations are coming from a good place, it's not always correct. It's not always the correct information. And so my first take that I want to tell people is abuse your mind, or not disabuse, but open up to more information. Right? It's we're in a season of opportunity, and there's so many opportunities that's available to us if we can just open up our minds to the proper information. And that's why it starts. So while I want you to believe your uncle or your auntie or your friend that told you you must become a nurse to make it, or you must become, drive Uber or whatever, that's based on how much they know. Be willing and open to explore beyond what you've received or what you already have been told. That's the
Yeah.
foundation to free yourself to making the most of opportunities available to you. When it comes to IT, it's obviously booming here in the US, but as a global career, it is, right? The playing field, what people don't realize is, as an IT person, even let's say you're back home in Nigeria, if you have tech skills, you can pick up contracts, right, that are hosted anywhere in the world. You can have your profile on Upwork and different freelance sites, and
Mm-hmm.
people from the US will pay you to come on and do short-term projects and pay you in dollars, right? So while this applies or is applicable to, you know, people who are here who can go in and get a 6-figure salary, you can easily, you know, in our own currency, go 7, 8 figures, right? With your IT skills, because organizations are constantly looking to, you know, for people with skill, right? With skill, with tech skills, because that's the direction the world is going. If you're good with cloud computing, if you're good with programming, if you're good with networking, you know, these are all high income skills that the world, people are looking for. They are in demand skills, right? Just like what you do. Okay, so there's no limits to what you can earn, because the skill sets you bring, you know, as a digital marketing person, as a funnel hacker, as, you know, somebody who has mastered the online market space, it's not limited to US or Nigeria. It's a global skill, right? That people are willing to pay high value for because of what you can do for their businesses. It's the same as, you know, doing a career in tech. The global market is looking for your skills. So regardless of where you're watching this live from, I want you to start by believing that you can do well and excel as an IT person, regardless of your location. So don't say, hey, this is because it's for people that are in the US, or I'm not outside the country, I'm not outside Nigeria, and so this is not for me. That will be, you're firing yourself before you're stopping yourself from getting opportunities even before it's come your way. So let's start with that mindset shift first. So the first thing I want to talk about, and as we go on, if you have any questions, if you're on the live, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll be glad to answer all those questions. And I just realized I just dived into content without really breaking down who I am and why it's important to listen to me, right? So I have over 15 years of experience working in tech. I've been working in IT since 2017, from my IT in school up until today, right? I've done I started as a system administrator back in Port Harcourt, doing my IT, and then I've supported different clients. I've worked with the biggest companies, you know, right? I've been a consultant for Verizon, for HP, for Income, a lot of Fortune 500 companies that I've worked with here in the US. You know, and I've been privileged to, make multiple 6-figure years myself, and also help a lot of people. Over the last 5, 6 years, I can count easily 40, 50 people who I've mentored into going to do 6 figures, right? So I'm talking from a place of experience, not just academic, or not just what I, you know, read or something. It's what I've done and what I do on a regular basis. And right now, full time, I run N-Star Technologies, and that's all we do is help people transition into careers and have a meaningful career, basically, using right IT skills. So that's who I am, and that's why you should listen to what I'm saying. All right, and of course you should trust Sarah because she knows what she's doing too. And so, quickly, a few misconceptions about information technology and working in tech, right? When people hear this is one thing that always blew my mind. When people say, Nnamdi, you work in tech, you work in IT, or you're a database administrator. Oh wow, you must be super smart. And I agree, I am, right? I won't say I'm not smart. I am. I've worked very hard, you know, but it's not like, who is not smart, really, right? When you say somebody's smart, it's they've just acquired knowledge and they've spent time, they've invested their time to attain a certain level of knowledge, and then that's why they seem smart, right? So it's not exclusively reserved for like a special breed of people who are smart, right? Some people think, okay, you have to be, this is for Asians, you know, Indians, or, you know, people from China, those are people that do well in IT. That is a very wrong conception. There's a lot of us like myself and you who are excelling and doing well, who are leading in IT, leading in tech, leading, you know, in top positions, in top organizations here in the US and around the globe. People that are my friends, young people, right? You know, young men in their 30s, in their 20s, doing excellently well, just excelling in IT. So don't say it's for Indians or it's for Asians. That's a misconception, right? That's a stereotype, and that's a limiting belief as well, where you're already disqualifying yourself before even making an attempt. Because if you believe it's for the Asians, guess what will happen? You won't even try. You won't even take an effort to get in there, because you won't even believe you have what it takes to succeed in tech. You know, and that's one of the things that I try to teach people is, get off all of those things you're thinking, right? You have what it takes. If think about what we've been through, you know, just growing up. If you grew up in Nigeria, like myself, like Sarah, just surviving and going to school in Nigeria, makes you qualified to stand in front of anybody, anywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know we can survive and we can excel, we can learn anything. You know, and so don't, that's one misconception that I want to knock out right now. It's not limited to specific smart people or a specific demographics. The other thing is you don't need to have a degree in information technology or tech,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think, oh, I didn't study computer science in school. I didn't study you know, information technology or computer engineering, any of those things, right? It's not a requirement. Okay, like I said, in the last 5 years, I have been working with people and mentoring people into jobs in tech. And 99%, Sarah, I'm very honest right now, 99% of the people that I work with have zero experience or background in information technology. Like, these are people who have toured around, they've been around the States, they've done, you know how people do, right? They've done all of these different, they've tried different things, worked in warehouse, driven Uber, and they are tired. I've talked to people who have been in nursing for 10 years and said, Nnamdi, I don't enjoy this. I want to come to IT, right? I don't know anything in IT, but I feel like I'll do well there, right? So most of the people I've worked with, that's where they come from. They come from a place of no experience in tech.
No
And
idea, I know.
no background in IT. I've seen, I worked with a young lady. There was a lady like a couple of years back I trained. She had a master's degree in public health. She was working with CDC, right? Doing completely unrelated stuff. Right? She had a fulfilling, a good career, right? But she felt this is not what I want to do, right? I feel like I'm passionate about this tech thing. I want to go do it. Train me, right? And with her master's in public health, she spent 10 weeks with us, right? Went through our training. By the time we're done, she got a job that took her to Tennessee, and she was making 100K like straight out of the gate. Tripled her salary that she was doing in CDC. Right, so it's not your background, right?
That matters, yeah.
It's not your background matters. Your educational experience, yes, God bless you, you've learned what you've learned in school. That doesn't mean you can't pivot, right? People pivot every day. If you realize the path, like Sarah, no matter how long you're on the wrong path, if you know, when you realize you're on the wrong path, you make a turn. If not, you will never arrive at your destination, right? So don't feel like, man, I've gone to school, I've studied this, I've done this, and so it's going to be a big, would you rather just stay and be unhappy your whole life doing what you don't enjoy? If you feel like you can do well in this thing, it's time to just pause. There are only a few there's a few careers where, like, maybe if you're in the medical profession, like doctors, or where you need to have that medical degree and it applies to everything, right? Before you can't do surgery if you don't have that training. You can't go practice law. There are certain levels of certification and, you know, authority you have to get to you know, to become a lawyer, or all of those things. But when it comes to other fields, you can transition at any point. There's no age limit. There's no age limit. There's no, what do you call it? And I'm saying age limit because my dad is on the live. He just asked the question, like, is there an age limit? So
no, there's no age limit. Hi.
There's no background limitation to where, okay, I can't. Nobody's going to, in your interview, ask you, oh, I saw you studied nursing. How are you able to do database or do this? No, nobody's going to, can you do the job? This is our situation. Can you help us? That's what they're looking for. Are you proficient in the technology, right? And then, so you don't need any tech experience and you don't need any prior experience. You know, you don't need a degree in IT. So those are the three misconceptions I want to bust right now. You don't need to be super smart, whatever that means. Or you don't need to, it's not for the Asians only. It's not, you don't need to have a tech degree or any of that. And you don't need to have any prior tech experience. You don't have worked in tech, any of those things, right? You just need to be proficient in a particular technology, right?
Yeah.
So that's for misconceptions. And I don't even want to ask any questions because I can talk all day like this.
So does anyone have any question about what he's saying? He's saying, irrespective of the country you're at, irrespective of the background you have, you can get a job in database administration, in information technology, can get a job in that line of work. So, and earn 6 figures in salary. We're talking $100,000 per year in salary. So yeah, does anyone have any questions? Someone said, becoming a data scientist, does one have to know everything?
Yeah, so I see that no, there's no field anywhere where you have to know everything. And I'm trying to understand what you mean by know everything. You just need to know what it requires. So data science, there are particular skill set requirements that you need to have, right? If you're going to big data, right, or you're going into, there's
From.
right, that you need to know to deal with, become a data scientist. There's a level of analytical skills you need to have. There are big data technologies that you need to be proficient in. So whether it's MongoDB, whether it's SQL, so you have to find your own niche, right? You don't need to know everything. Nobody does. Nobody knows everything. Like, I'm in database administration. I am good at Microsoft SQL. That's my area. I know a little about the other things, but I'm not proficient. I'm not expert in those things. You don't need to be super proficient in everything. It's not possible, right? You just need to find your niche, right? Whether it's MongoDB, whether it's Cassandra, any of those tools, build your proficiency in those things, and then go get, exhaust your time in doing like real, get scenarios and labs that you will build your proficiency, so that when you're in an interview, the core thing is, have you done this before? You can say, yes, I've done this. If this arises, what will you do? You need to have done so much practice that, like your own lab at home, you should have practiced so much that you've seen everything. That's how you become so good that nobody can say no to you, right? When you stand in front of somebody who is interviewing you, right? But you don't need to know everything. That's not possible. Nobody knows everything, even in that one single space. All right. So while we wait for questions, I want to talk about just the opportunities that are available in the tech space. Good thing that David brought up the question about data science. IT is broad, right? There are so many things you could become in IT or in tech, right? Whether you're doing your server engineering, whether you're a database administrator like myself, whether you're a programmer, developer, there's so many things, right? So this is how I want to classify it, right? Because every role has to fit into one of the areas, right? So you can either be in operations, right? You can either be in operations, I wrote them down. You can be in programming or development. So programmers, like, people that do website development, people that write code, write Java, C#, .NET, all that's programming. They use code to build all of the front end stuff that we see, and some back end work as well. But most of the front end is programming. You know how to do HTML, CSS, JavaScript. All of those things fall under the programming and development aspect, right? There are different positions under that classification. And then we talk about networking. All right, so there's the network engineers, the router, the people that do routers, there's so many network security, all of those. That's that's the networking side. So this again, and that's another classification. Then we have security. So people talk about cyber security, information security, network security. There's security is a broad space, right? People going like, I want to do cyber security, and then they don't realize there's layers to, every one of those things. Then you can also be in the server side, right? You can be a server administrator, a server engineer, storage, people that do storage. That's another set of different career paths that you can have. So you can be in the server side. And then this is one people don't really think of as much, is you can be in the architecture space as well. So people that do design, right? So Sarah, you own your own application. You came in and you spoke to someone and said, this is what I'm looking to build. I want to build an application that will do this and do this and do this and have the ability to solve all of these problems. You are the product owner, right? You go and you talk to somebody who is supposedly a software engineer, or maybe talk to a company, and somebody has to take your ideas and break it down into different components, right? What's the front end component? What's the back end? What kind of database is this going to be? With this software sit on? Right? What programming language are we going to use? In the database side, how many tables? How is this thing going to work? How are the tables going to talk to themselves? Right? That is architecture. These guys are more analytical. They will take business requirements, convert them to technical requirements. Right? Those technical requirements are now what people like myself will take the database and will build your back end on the database. The website, people will take the front end and build the front end, right, for you. The storage people will do take the storage requirements and build that out. Okay, so architecture is not Uncle Steve is here. You're welcome, sir. All right. So when you're an architect, so it's people to say that I'm a data architect, I'm a software architect, right? These are designers. They take concepts, technical concepts. They will take your idea and convert them into language that people like myself can understand so that we can take and build. That's a very important role in IT. People, so you don't necessarily need to be a technical, you're not writing code, you're not writing scripts, you're not doing servers, you're not doing networking, right? You're just able to understand business language and technical language, and you can do design, right? So all of those data analysis, software architecture, data architecture, all of those career paths will fall under the architecture side. And then this is the other one that people also don't see as IT, is project management. Right? So you were talking about Scrum earlier. Okay, so every project, every product we see, whether it's an application, whether it's physical hardware, whether it's a network or whatever it is, they are all a result of projects, right? Somebody envisioned something, right? You have your software, you have your Funnel Kings application. That was a vision. That's when you started, that became a project. That project can be broken into projects, but somebody had to run with it, right? And make sure that your software engineers are on point, make sure that the website people are on point. That's a very powerful skill. Now that you've launched your product, you have to support it. You have to do enhancements. You have to keep adding, as customers use the tool, they give you feedback. They say, hey, we wish this thing could do this, right? That's an enhancement you could add to make the product better. That's why we're always getting updates from Microsoft, from iPhone. If you use your phone, we keep getting all of this ongoing updates to platforms. That's called enhancements. That's part of the life cycle of that product. Will always need support. And somebody needs to keep tracking it. Somebody needs to keep managing it. That's where we have this agile project managers, agile, scrum masters, regular project managers, people that do waterfall, the conventional project management. Project managers need to understand tech, just like the architects. They need to understand the tech. Even if they're not hands-on, they need to understand the tech as well as business. And so they are very useful to helping us, stick to deadlines. Make sure we are delivering, we are meeting customer requirements, because no matter how savvy I am, in the end, I want to ensure that customers are happy, right? If customers are not getting their services on time or getting their requirements on time, then forget your skills or forget your IT, you're doing it for yourself. And so we need those project managers to keep us on task, to make sure that they are communicating any bottlenecks, right? And then you know how customers can be. Let's say you have funnel, right? You have this thing, you have your idea, you've given these guys this project, but then you bump into another software and says I can do something. And you're like, I want my product to do this thing, right?
Yes.
I say, hey, I need this thing. I need this one new feature. That's leading to what we call scope creep. Okay, so the technical guys are going to like, no, we can't do that in the timeline that we have. The only way you and your tech people don't bump heads is the project manager. He's the one that will help manage expectations from both ends, right? There are certain things that we can add realistically and still meet our timelines. The project manager determines that. And if they need to tell you as the product owner to, hey, slow down, or you get what I mean? They will say, hey, we can do this, but not on this timeline. Right, so those guys, people don't think of project management as a valid IT career, but it is. It's a very valid IT career. So all of these are the different aspects. I didn't really go in depth into specific roles, but these are the different areas. So when you're thinking of a career in IT, you need to start looking at where will I fit in best? Where is my skill set going to really shine? All of us can be in tech. But for somebody who doesn't talk too much, right, who doesn't like attending meetings, being a project manager where you have to manage people might not be a good fit for you, because that's not your natural forte, right? Even though you can learn those things. Some people are very analytical. They can look at things and break it down. That might be a very good data architect. Some people are so broad in their thinking, right, that they can see things from different perspectives. Some people are very hands-on. They want to break things naturally. They want to break and fix stuff. That's a good person for, the operation side of things. So you can be a database administrator, you can be in Windows administration, you can be a network engineer. Like, we're hands-on, we break stuff, we fix stuff. We are people that you can call like, hey, it's not working, do something, right? You're calm under pressure. you might be good in operation. So these are, look at where your strengths lie, and that will drive you, make that determination for what career path I want to follow in IT, right? And so it's not just, people look at the money first, right? And it's good. The great thing about being in tech is there's always progression. No matter where you're coming at, there's always the next level of the same thing, right? So whether you are in server administration, whether you're in networking, whether you're in database, whether you're in programming, you can make six figures. Like, not Naira six figures. I'm talking about dollar six figures, right? You can do six figures, 100K and up, right? It's not impossible. Okay, it's really not impossible. So you need to just figure out what parts. Money is very important. I agree with you, David. You just have to figure out the path you want to take. The money will follow. I promise you. I promise you, the money is there. People want to pay you. Just be skilled. People want to pay you this money. All right. Any questions so far before I keep going?
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions? Drop the questions in the comments section and would answer them. What questions do you have on what we've been discussing so far about starting a career in tech, making six figures, irrespective of whether it is you want to do database, administration, networking, agile, scrum, and all of that? Okay, so yeah, go ahead now.
So questions, keep thinking of questions or typing them up. All right, so I want to talk about requirements to getting your first job, right? So I've talked about all of these good things that you can do in IT, all these amazing positions that are available to you. And again, please, I want to reemphasize something I said at the beginning. This is not location specific, right? It's not location specific. Regardless of where you are, think of it like this. Apple is an American company, but they have factories in China. They have manufacturing in China. They have offices in China and different countries around the world. Why? Because they want to go, it's, one, labor cost of labor, right? It's cheaper for them to do it there. And also availability of skill, right? It's some places are considered technology. And so companies will go there to pay for talent, right? And so a lot of companies want to do what Apple is doing, but they don't have Apple money to go and build factories in China or open up offices in China or in Indonesia or Pakistan, right? And so what do? They go on freelance platforms where there's talent from all over the globe, right? If you're a technical person and you don't have an account on Upwork or Elance, you're missing out on so many opportunities, right? While we're talking right now, go and sign up for Upwork as I'm talking to you right now and build your profile, because I'm telling you, somebody needs a developer and they can't afford to pay $70 an hour for a developer that's based here in the US, but they need their project done. They will pay $40 an hour to a developer from Nigeria. They will pay you $35 an hour. Now imagine that for 40 hours a week as a, writing Java. That's more than any salary you will get. You get what I mean? So there are so many, I wish I had a list of different Elance platforms. Maybe Sarah, I'll get you a list so you can post on your platform. I'll give you a list of different places where people that are, freelance sites where you can go and upload your resume and start getting projects, right? So that's the only difference for us in the US here, or like if you're based in Canada, more of the first world countries. For you, this is, you can get a job and earn your six-figure salary, right? The only catch there is you pay tax. But for those who are not in any of these countries where this is, then you need to get on this, I'll send Sarah the sites, go on all of this place. If you have the skill, right, you have the skill sets, go on those places, create a profile for yourself and present yourself. If you're not on LinkedIn with an active profile, you're missing out, because that's a global marketplace. That's a global marketplace. You can start connecting to captain of industries, right? And people who are leaders in their organizations, and let them know, hey, I'm based in Nigeria and this is what I can do in case you need this skill set. I have my own consulting company and this is the service we provide, right? You have to sell yourself as a professional, all right? So that's, just trying to help us for people who are not um, who are not here in the US, or who are not in US, UK, Canada, and all those countries. Again, so look out for that information from Sarah. So to get your first job, you need to identify your area of interest. And my dad asked the question, says, I mean, the simplest branch for the elderly. There is, what's the simplest branch? It depends. Like I'm saying, you need to find where your strengths are. There's no simplest one. They are all, it's all preference. Like what's easy for me might be, difficult for somebody else because of how, because of how broad this thing is. There are certain things that play to my strengths that might not play to another person's strength. So we might need to get more information on the different areas that I've talked about.
Someone asked, some people asked a couple of questions.
All right, go ahead.
Scroll up. So David asked, how do one get a job outside Nigeria?
Yeah, so that's what I was explaining. You need to be on Upwork. You need to be on, your LinkedIn needs to be on point. And I'm going to give Sarah a list of freelance websites where you need to be on and be active on. Because that's where people go to find consultants, especially people who are smaller, lower budget, companies with lower budgets who don't have Microsoft or Apple or Verizon money, but they still need programmers, they still need database administrators, they still need network engineers. These jobs cannot be done remotely. So regardless of your location, with strong internet, you can work from anywhere you are, right? And so they will pay you maybe below market value in the US, but way above market value in Nigeria, right? They will pay you $20, $30 an hour, $40 an hour to maybe do development for them, because in the US it's 80, 90, 100 an hour. Okay, so there's always that skill, but you need to present yourself to the global marketplace and let them know I'm available for work. I'm open to work, right? Now, before you jump on the place, make sure you know what you're doing, right? Because make sure your skill, and I'm going to talk about how to get started, or that's where I'm going, right? So it's important. That's how to start. Is put yourself out where the global market can find you. All right. Any other questions?
Someone says, how can someone with no educational background start IT? Another one person says, recommendations for transitioning to tech for healthcare professionals as a doctor.
Okay. So the what was the previous question? Sorry, the previous one.
Yeah. How can someone with no educational background start IT?
All right, no educational background, start IT. I'm going to answer that question in a minute. I have points for how to get into IT. In fact, the people I'm talking to are people without IT experience or background, right? That's who this thing is for. People that already did computer science and engineering, they already have the skill. So all they need to do is jump in. All right. If you're in tech, computer science, and live in the US or around here, and you're not making money from IT, come and meet me. Let me flog you first of all, and then show you what to do. But you need to be making money. Like if you're already trained in that area. So this is really for people who are not even in that space. All right. Then what was the second question? The medical field to tech. Yeah. If you think of it like this, when you are in your medical practice, everything you did, you were using tech to do. So you already have an advantage in the sense that you've used a lot of these tools. You just didn't know you use them from a user perspective. You never supported from the back end. So let's say you're using any of these EMR systems like Epic or Sage. There's so many, electronic medical record platforms right now where doctors can go impute diagnosis and things about, patient health, their last diagnosis, everything. That's why when we go to the hospital, once they put in your information, they see how many times you've come and what's happened and what they gave you last time. They ask you, are you still taking this medication? Because it's all there stored somewhere. Where is all of that thing stored? It's stored in a database. That platform, the interface that you are using to impute that information was built using either .NET, C#, Java. That's IT, right? There's some form of like communication involved. There's some form of encryption that's involved in that to ensure that customer records, because of HIPAA compliance and things like that, confidentiality, encryption has to be there to ensure that the data is not available to just anybody, right? Because it's patient information. You don't want anybody accessing somebody else's medical records that easy, Okay, so all of from the front end to the from the point where you're typing stuff, IT is involved, and different career paths are already in there. So you can either go application specific if you're already in the medical field, maybe become a consultancy for Epic or for something, one of those platforms, right? So instead of now because you already have the user experience, you can just become a support person for that product. That's one way to go, right? You can become a consultant, just do the right certifications, and then become a consultant for that particular platform, since that's your area of expertise. There's a lot of medical IT courses, right, where the training is tailored to medical platforms and medical, medical technology. There's med tech platforms out there. Those are courses that you can jump on, take a few. You already have the background. And then you can now start going deeper, say things like database administration, where you want to now look at, okay, all these medical records that have been sending, where are they stored, right? That's where you start exploring the database side and the back end. If you feel like you want to be a back end person, not doing the fancy stuff. If you want to go and become a front end developer, that's also cool, right? So there are different career paths for you, with the coming from medical sciences. The one thing you have as an advantage is most of these things you've already used them before. You already have some background. You just didn't see yourself as doing IT while you are doing those things, but you were. Because if you are to if you go and get a job with, say, Sage as their architect, product architect, or get into like product management, where you are now like the project manager for that particular product, you know how the product works already. And so taking that product and breaking it down for the tech people will be easy for you. Unlike somebody like me who is pure tech, who has never used this thing the way you have, I'll have to go learn the product before I can support it, right? So there's so many paths for you. If you already have a background coming from the medical space, you already have like an advantage. Just see how you can start transitioning from products you're familiar with and start looking to what aspect of this product do I want to focus on. Is it the front end building part of it? Is it supporting it? Is it back end, database, networking type, situation? So that's how I'll ask you to think. I've had people come from, especially nursing, a lot of people in pharmacy come and meet me like, hey, Nnamdi, I want to learn database. I want to learn database because I feel like that's more exciting for me. I've seen how this thing works, and I feel like I want to really understand more in depth how it's stored at the back end. And I feel this would be a good career, and of course, it will pay me well to match or even better than what I'm getting now. So I do get people like that coming for training with me. All right. Any other questions? I hope that answered the person's questions.
Yes, she said thanks.
Okay.
That answered her question. Yemi says thanks.
Excellent. All right.
Okay.
All right. Let me jump in. I want to quickly get through requirements just to get your first job. And this is again at a very high level, how I need your mindset to work. First of all, identify your area of interest based on your strengths, right? So to answer my dad and all the other people who are wondering, do I need to have tech experience, or how much experience do I need to have, whether I'm older or whether I'm younger? It's about where do I feel like I will excel. So you need to do your research before jumping on and saying, hey, I want to do this or I want to do that. What do you know about it? A lot of people come and meet me and say, Nnamdi, I want to do this IT thing. I hear there's money there. I don't know what you teach. What I hear you teach IT. While I'm a very patient person, I'll break it down for you. Not everybody is that. That's not the best approach, right? Coming to say, hey, I just like the money. Teach me IT. That's a whole war. Nobody can teach you IT, right? What do you want to learn? So figure out, where do I feel like my strengths are? Do some research. I've broken down the different areas for you. Go deeper and figure out some things. If you have questions, reach out to Stella, reach out to myself. We can, give you more detail, or at least guide you to resources that will provide more information for you. So that's the first thing, is identify your areas based on your strengths. And I'm looking down because I have notes here. So the next one I have here is, if you're already working, people don't realize how powerful this is. Look for lateral movements within your organization and grow from there, right? So don't try to go from, you're working in, say, accounting as a junior accountant, and you want to now say, okay, I want to transition to IT department, and you now want to become a senior software engineer. That's the role you apply for. That's not how it works. Look for a role at your level, right, and start looking to transition, right? A lot of companies will let you shadow and let you move laterally, you know, like horizontally across within, so you can leave accounting and go to different departments, and they will even train you on the job. Most companies will do that since it's not going to be a salary change or anything. You're just moving within the company to a different role. That's a fast way to get your foot in the door, and then you can start growing your skill set, building experience. When you feel like you have enough experience, the next thing you can do is now find a job outside the company, right? Because getting your promotion within the same company when they know you started from accounting might not be. They'll be like, how you've been here only 1 year doing this, so I can move from accounting to working in IT support, for example, and learn everything I can about, say, Windows administration. And the moment I feel like I'm strong enough, I'll start looking for roles that will pay me double my salary somewhere else, right? So that's a quick, another way to get into tech from where you are, right? Is try to look for lateral roles within your organizations and then grow from there. And the last one, which I feel like is the most significant way, and is mentorship, right? Mentorship through career training programs. That's the fastest route, because now somebody is guiding you through the process, taking you through the journey. And that's why you see a lot of people who are making transition into tech right now. That's how they're going about it. They are going through career training programs, not certification courses, right? Certification means I will teach you enough to pass the exam, but certification does not guarantee a career, especially in IT. It does in some other fields, but in tech, showing me that you have a paper does not move the needle for me. Like as a senior database engineer myself, right? You come and tell me you're all of this certified in SQL Server, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't do anything. I can go get certified in anything I want, study for 2 weeks, go write the exams and pass. Anybody can pass exams. Okay, so can I demonstrate proficiency in the technology? That's really what the professional, that's what your interviewers are looking for, is, can you do this? This is what we have going on within our company. Are you able to help us? If this comes up during the day, what will you do? Proficiency is what they are looking for. And that's what a career training program will give you, right? So that's what we do at Nstar Technologies, is we focus on career training, not just training. We're not trying to teach you how to pass a certification. A lot of people do that. You don't even need to see somebody to pass certifications, right? But we're taking you through career-based. I have like over 30, 40 people that I support who call me and say, hey, now this is happening in my job. What should I do? Right? So I'm taking all of those people's experiences plus my own 17 years, and I'm using that to teach you and say, hey, this is likely what you will encounter when you start on day one. The objective is when you stand in front of somebody like me tomorrow, and I'm asking you questions about what you've done or what you're able to do, you can speak fluently. So even though you have limited experience, your proficiency is at a high level, because somebody who has done it before is showing you the way, right? You know how they say, if you want to see farther, stand on the shoulders of those who have gone ahead, right? Stand on the shoulder of giants. That's the key to success, is don't try to study on your own to get in and somebody will pay you 100,000. Think of it, if you're the person hiring, if you're going to give somebody 100K as a salary, they have to show they know what they're doing. And so it's the same way. Let somebody who has been there guide you, right? So go for career training programs, right? We have our Scrum Master program. We have our database programs that we do. And we spend time like holding our students' hand to a level of proficiency. By the time they are done, we literally even work with you through like how to interview, how to set up your resume, how to make sure LinkedIn is the right way. When recruiters call you, how do you respond? How do you answer certain questions? A lot of people have the skill, but they don't know how to have conversations with technical people. And that's where their flaw is. So these are things that career training programs like ours will help with. So those are the 3 ways I'll recommend for somebody looking to get into tech. Find your area that you want to get into. Seek roles within your company. That's a shortcut. At least get your foot in the door. And career training if you want to expedite it, career training, it will cost you, right? But it's an investment. That's the one that's worth it. All right, so that's for people trying to make that transition. That's how to go about it. If you want more information, again, you can always hit us up and we'll
reach out to him. Yes,
right?
reach out to Nnamdi if you want to get started.
All right. Do we have any questions so far? I still have.
Yeah, go on. There's no question for now. Go on. So there is.
So I wanted to talk about what I do. Database administration. That's my own area. When I talk career training and database, that's I've used database illustrations because that's my area of expertise. I'm one of the best at it. But I say that because I've worked hard. I'm sure I've done everything you can do when it comes to database administration. I'm very comfortable, in that aspect, and I've helped a lot of people in that space. Every business, regardless of what they do, depend on data. In fact, everybody, every one of us, the reason why you are in this life is because you analyze the information and felt like there's some value you can get. And based on that data available to you, you believe that I can join, let me join this life so that I can get something, right? So everybody uses data to make decisions. We all use data to make decisions, and businesses have figured that out, right? When it comes to, like, Sarah, what you teach us, what you teach people is how to analyze their market, who's your target audience, and then what do they want so that you can give it to them. That's where you spend your advertising budget. That is a data-driven decision. You've studied the market and figured, maybe I don't want to be advertising to people that are under 21 because they are not the ones that are going to buy my product. Maybe this is my market. So regardless of the industry you are, data, you use data. All right. And so because we make data-driven decisions every day, businesses use data for everything. When you go online, you see that everything you do, somebody is trying to capture information, right? There's cookies that want to capture your data. You're using your phone. Where do they store all this data? In a database, right? In a database. They store it in a database. All of this data that the world we are gathering, this is called data scraping. This data is gathered and stored somewhere. Businesses need professionals to help them manage that data, right? Businesses need professionals to help them. They need people who have the skills. So a database administrator is just somebody who is proficient in a particular technology to help businesses manage their business critical data. That's a short way to summarize who a database person is. We use our skills, whether you're using platforms like SQL, Oracle, MySQL. These are all database management platforms. You are proficient in one of these platforms and you use your skills to help businesses, right, manage their data. Manage their data, make sure it's available to customers when they need it, make sure that there's security of data, make sure that things, performance is optimal. That's what database administrators do. If there's a disaster, we need to have made provisions to ensure that even if my building crashes where the company is working, we can still spin off our data somewhere and continue doing business, right? That's part of what database administration is about. It's ensuring there's availability of data regardless of what's going on. Right. And those are the things that I teach people how to do. Right. When you do a transaction in the bank, for example, you send me $1,000. You're where you are and where I am. In a second, I get the money you've sent me. Why? Money is not physically moving and getting in, right? It's records are just updated at the back end to reflect that a transaction has happened. And that's all what we do. That's people like me putting things like that in place. And that's what we show people. How it's done. Now, obviously, there's a lot more to database administration than we can cover. Me and you need to be on that live to teach database administration, right? But tomorrow I'm doing a free webinar for anybody. Just go on my page, and I put the link is on my bio. Sign up for the webinar tomorrow. It's by noon Eastern Time, 12 p.m. EST. Whether you're in Nigeria, US, wherever you are, come and learn about database administration, right? I'm going to go in depth into what database administration is about, how to get started. Like, I'm going to go into more details about database and how it works and what the roles are, everything. I'm going to break it down. That way you can make a decision whether this is the path for you or not, right? It's a no pressure. We're not selling markets. I'm teaching you stuff. It's not one of those sales webinars, right? You have the option. If you want to come on board, you can. If you don't want to, that's okay. But at least come and learn and be informed. Because I feel like if I teach people and give them information, they will make informed decisions. And I want you to come motivated, not feel like, what am I doing here? You know how somebody has sold you and then you go and buy timeshare. And after you buy, you just realize, what did I buy? That's you have buyer's remorse. That's not what we do. So tomorrow, go on my page. Let me see if I can even paste the. No, I can't. The comment as the thing has expired. I had to my clipboard. But if you are, just go to my page, follow me, go to my bio, and sign up for the webinar tomorrow. It's 12 p.m. tomorrow Eastern Time, and we're going in depth into database administration. And just check out Ensa Technologies' website. We do a lot, and
What time? What time? Someone is asking
12
again.
p.m. Eastern time. 12 p.m. Eastern time.
12 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, 12 p.m. EST. So go on my profile, sign up for that, and it should be fun. I'll get to answer all your questions around database administration, everything you need to know. I'll be breaking it down. All right.
Okay, so does anyone have any more questions? Let's see. I believe he has covered everything. So
Yeah.
irrespective of whether you're in health, you're a health professional or a doctor, you can also make a transition into the IT world and get a high paying job. Okay, so they've dropped the webinar link. I'm also going to put it in the section. Okay, someone says, can you put the link in your profile?
Yeah, it's already on Insta profile. It's on my personal profile as well.
Yeah.
Just go on and yeah.
Okay.
Tell me all your questions.
So yes, irrespective of whether you have no experience, you don't need any huge experience in tech. You're a newbie, you don't know anything about tech, you can get into database administration.
Yeah, you can get into database, you can get into IT.
Yes, you can get into IT. So
Yeah.
sign up for his webinar. He has a webinar going on tomorrow by 12 p.m. Eastern time. Just convert it online to your own time zone and join on the link in his bio. So anything else you want to share with us, Nnamdi?
It's possible, right? Regardless of where you are and what you do. I think that's what I want to leave with us is it's possible. There's there's no nationality that's smarter than the other one. There's no group that's smarter or better than the other one. Even the Bible says this, God is rich unto all that call on him. Right? So there's no white, black, no. It's that's not a limitation.
I'm coming for the webinar.
That's
I'm going to join the webinar tomorrow.
So it's about, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is, right? Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That's what Henry Ford said. Okay, so break out of that mindset and that's telling you can't do this, or no, Nnamdi is smart, or Sarah they went to this school and so they are intelligent. No, don't limit yourself. Trust me, people have come from different backgrounds and are doing very well in this space. And it might not be database administration, it might be another field, it might be somewhere else in IT, right? But there is opportunities that you can take advantage of. Don't stay content with where you are. The only thing the Bible says we should be content is with what we have, right? But not with where you are. You have to be advanced. Even the Bible says that the part of just man shines brighter and brighter the perfect day. So we have to be getting better. God expects us to improve. So again, don't even use Christianity to justify mediocrity. That's
Exactly.
right. There's no reason if you're in the US, you're in Canada, you're in any of these countries, and you have any degree at all, there's no reason why you're not doing $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 in salary. And it's no reason. There's no reason. You can't give me a reason why you're not. Right. So that's to start. Then for those of us who are not even here, you can still leverage opportunities that are in these first world countries. You can. Right. Once we get that list of freelance websites, go there and beef up your skills. Just beef up your skills. What people pay you for. This 6 figure we're talking about, why are people willing to pay you $100K, pay you $100 an hour to do a job? It's not because of how hard you're going to work. It's because of the value of your work to them, right? So database, like I just explained, data is the core of every business. And so that's why companies are willing to pay you $100 to sit down there and monitor their data. You might not do anything for a week, but at least they know they have a resource with the skill set that in case there's a need, we don't need to start looking for somebody, right? So there are skills called high income skills, right? IT is a high income area. The skills are high income because of the value of what we do. Imagine Amazon's website goes down for 1 hour. How much money is lost, right? How much money is lost if Amazon goes down for 30 minutes? And so they can't afford to have it go down. So guess who makes sure that doesn't happen? People like myself, people that have front-end skills, right? They're the ones that are making sure. And so because Amazon knows if my server goes down for 30 minutes, I'm going to lose close to $1 billion. I'm going to lose close to 100 million. Let's put around that, right? How difficult is it for me to pay $1 million in salary to 10 people to ensure that I don't lose $250 million in 30 minutes? It's an easy decision for them. Right, so we're not really paid based on hard work; it's based on value. So build yourself in these high income skills. If you don't have any IT skills or experience, go start acquiring, go learn, find an area and go and build your skill. Start learning. Like equip yourself and then put yourself in the world global marketplace, and the opportunities will all be there for you. All right. So that's my encouragement to everybody. Don't limit yourself, not by location, not your experience, not nationality. Those are excuses. The world is our oyster. This is 2021. You can work anywhere. You can work anywhere. The world is looking for your skills. You have to just show that you're one of the best at it, and people will pay you your words. All right. So that's my spiel.
Thank you so much, Nnamdi, for breaking it down so simple. So just give a summary of everything you discussed today, just from start to finish, a whole summary and how people can work with you.
All right, so top to bottom, what we've talked about today, how to get started in IT, right, in tech. We've talked about conceptions about IT and IT jobs, like you have to be super smart, you need to have degree in tech, you need to have prior IT experience. Those are misconceptions, and we've watched the replay if you came in late. We've busted all those myths. They are inaccurate. There's no nationality restriction, there's no location, there's no smart country. Not China, not India. Whether you're Nigerian, Cameroonian, Ghanaian, all of us have the same brain, right? It's all about what we put in it. And then opportunities available in the tech space. I broke down the different, IT opportunity areas. So I didn't go into the different careers roles, but if you go in each area, operations, programming or development, networking, security, server, architecture, project management, like Scrum, PMs, all of those things. So those are different career opportunities in IT. And then requirements to get in your first job, that was what we talked about. We spent some time there. Find the area of your interests or your strengths. At least know what you're looking for in IT. Find roles within your current organization. That's very important. Find roles within your current organization's lateral moves. Again, don't try to go from junior accountant to senior engineer, database engineer. That's not realistic. Go from at your level. And then mentorship through career training. Mentorship through career training is very important. That's the fastest route. And then I talked about database administration. If you want to learn more about database and how to become a database administrator and earn six figures wherever you are, I have a webinar coming up tomorrow, link in my bio and somewhere in the comments. So all of us have the same brain. It's not about what we put in it. That's true. And so that's what we do. I've helped a lot of people make this transition to database. And I want to take as many people with me. All of my siblings, how many, three of us in the US, all of our database administrators. The only one that's not doing DBA is the one that's back in Nigeria. The rest of us in the US, all database people. But that's what I'm good at. I know how to do it, and I'm showing as many people as I can. That's what most of these Asian people that we think are smart, that's what they've done. They've mentored their people into the marketplace, and now you go in, and everywhere you go, you see Indians working in tech. It's because they've done what I'm trying to do, which is help their people get in, right? So that's the goal. I want to I want to blaze the trail for as many people as I can, because I know that we can do this and we can excel equally, if not better than they do. So that's a quick summary. So I'm on Instagram, obviously. That's you can follow my page. You can also follow my business, Nstar Technologies. That's how we do all of our trainings. And feel free to DM us if you have questions.
Yes, and attend the webinar tomorrow. So it has a webinar.
Tell your friends.
12 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, 12 p.m. EST. Tell everybody to come on. Let's see if it makes sense for you. And if it does, why not? I'll be glad to have you. I'm looking forward to take with me on my way to the top.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. But Sarah, thank you so much for having me. I've enjoyed this. It's finally
glad. So glad I have
face-to-face conversation.
Yes. So thank you so much for coming up on board, sharing so much on how to start a career in tech. I believe that this is going to help people. I want to make sure that I share this to all my audiences across all platforms. So let them watch this replay. If you're watching this replay, also put #replay in the comment section. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Nnamdi. Feel free to reach out to me. I will still direct you back to him concerning how to start a career, a six-figure a year career in tech. So thank you so much, Nnamdi, for coming.
Thank you, Sarah. Thanks, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Bye.
Bye. See you tomorrow. Bye. Yes.
What's the comment?